Okay, let's be real. Does your laptop desktop look like a digital landfill? Do you feel a tiny spike of anxiety every time you unlock your phone? If that sounds familiar, you're in exactly the right place. We're going to dive into a simple 2-hour plan to tackle that digital chaos and finally get your focus back.
I mean, this quote just nails it, doesn't it? You know that one drawer in your house, the one filled with mystery cables, dead batteries, and who knows what else? Well, our digital lives have become exactly that. They're a dumping ground for forgotten files, blurry photos, and all those apps we swear we're going to use someday.
And this is the real kicker. This isn't just about running out of gigabytes on your hard drive. No, every single bit of that mess is actively, silently draining your mental energy, which makes it so much harder to concentrate on the stuff that actually matters. So, why does a messy desktop feel so heavy? It's a real feeling, right? Well, let's get into the psychology behind it, what our source material calls the digital dust problem. Okay, this is a fascinating concept. Tiny open loops. See, our brains are basically hardwired to keep track of incomplete tasks. It's a real thing called the Zeigarnik effect. So your brain sees every single one of those messy icons, every unread notification, as a tiny, nagging to-do item. It's like a constant, low-level hum of unfinished business that absolutely kills your ability to focus deeply. But here's where we turn a corner. Because if you're feeling overwhelmed by all this, I want you to hear this loud and clear. It is not a personal failure. We need to completely bust the myth that some kind of perfect digital organization is even possible, let alone desirable. Seriously, let this sink in. You are not lazy, you're not broken. The entire digital world we live in is pretty much designed for chaos. It rewards us with little dopamine hits and keeps us busy managing things we never even asked for. So it is time to just let go of the guilt. So what do? We shift the goal. We are not aiming for clean. Clean is like a perfectly sterile operating room. It's fragile. It shatters the second you download a new file. Instead, we're aiming for clear. A clear system is intentional, it's resilient. Here's the difference. When a clean system gets messy, it feels broken. But when a clear system gets messy, you know exactly how to reset it in just a few minutes.
And I love this analogy. Stop treating your devices like a museum, perfectly curated to impress some imaginary visitor, but totally impossible to actually use. Treat them like a workshop. A good workshop gets messy when you're in the middle of a project, right? But the tools are always within reach, and you know the mess is temporary. It's built for function, not for show.
Okay, so that's the mindset shift. But how do we actually put this into practice? Let's get to the solution. A simple, really powerful framework for taking back control. This is the hero of our story.
That's it. 2 hours. Doesn't that just feel like a relief? It's not magic. It's just long enough to make a huge impact, but short enough that you'll actually do it. It turns what feels like an impossible, endless chore into a really achievable challenge. And the reason this whole 2-hour thing works is because of a classic productivity principle, Parkinson's law. Basically, work expands to fill whatever time you give it. So if you give yourself a whole weekend to clean up your files, guess what? It's going to take the whole weekend. But if you give yourself just 2 hours, that tight deadline forces you to be decisive. You don't have time to agonize over screenshots from 2016. You just get it done. So here's the game plan, your 2-hour sprint. You start with a quick 10-minute setup. Just pick one area, your desktop, your phone, whatever, and just start. Then a fast 30-minute first cut. Go fast, be ruthless. After a quick break to stretch and clear your head, you dive deep into the heavy-duty areas for 40 minutes. Now that archive folder, that's your secret weapon for anything you're not sure about. And that final ritual of emptying the trash, oh, it makes the progress feel so real. Okay, we've got the framework, we've got the timeline. Now, where do you point all this newfound decluttering energy? Let's cover the spots that are going to give you the biggest, most immediate sense of calm. First up, your phone. This can feel like the biggest win, and it's super fast. Move everything, and I mean everything, but the absolute essentials off your main home screen. Then be brutal with notifications. If it's not from a real person or maybe your bank, just silence it. And that app you downloaded for a trip 3 years ago, yeah, it's time for it to go. All right, for your computer, let's ditch those complicated nested folder trees that nobody can ever find anything in. All you need is a simple, memorable system. These 5 folders can handle pretty much anything: work, personal, finance, media, and the most important one, temp. Think of the temp folder as your new organized junk drawer. Just, make sure you actually empty it every month.
And now for your inbox. For so many of us, this is the final boss. But here's one single move that will change everything. Don't try to sort thousands of old emails one by one. Just select everything older than 3 months and hit archive. Poof, they're gone from your site, but they're still searchable if you ever need them, which, let's be honest, you probably won't.
A 2-hour sprint is going to feel amazing, but the real goal here is to make that feeling of calm sustainable. So, how do you keep the chaos from just creeping right back in?
You make it a ritual. It's that simple. You put it on your calendar just like you would a doctor's appointment. A 2-hour reset, once a month, is really all it takes to maintain that feeling of control and clarity. It's the consistency that turns this one-time fix into a real lifestyle.
And this might be the most important thing to remember from all of this. Your system will get messy again. Life happens. The goal is not some permanently perfect state of digital nirvana. The real skill you're building here is the ability to bounce back to order quickly. That's momentum. And this is what it's all about. When your devices finally stop screaming for your attention, when your mind is no longer bogged down by all those tiny open loops, you're left with something incredibly valuable: mental space. You're left with quiet. So the real question is, what are you going to create with it?